Well, good evening, everybody. I'm John O'Loughlin, and welcome to my channel. It's called McDuff_2020. And to celebrate our week of Charette here at the Charette House on Mystery Island with George Webb and all of the great researchers and contributors, thought I'd just offer you all a little fiddle contest tonight with whatever else thrown in if we want to. I know that some of our people here are also musicians, and we'll see if we can get some more folks to join me after. But, you know, the first thing that I thought of was yesterday. And yesterday was a very stressful day for a lot of us. I felt like it was just not right to not celebrate the 8th day of January.
Right.
Because, you know, the 8th day of January, that is the famous Battle of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And the British forces that had been landed there in December set up an assault on the city of New Orleans, and Andrew Jackson defended. And on January 8th, 1815, the British troops attacked. The Americans, led by Andrew Jackson, lost only 71 men. The 10,000 British lost over 1,300. And it was a sound defeat for the British, and I think that's something that we should always celebrate, because we don't need the British. They might think they can own us, but they can never own us. We are free, and to celebrate that, I'll offer you a little bit of the Battle of New Orleans. George Webb.
I just want to say, John, I'm going to be off camera here, but I thought so you wouldn't have to carry everything tonight, I just wanted to say that we also have gained another participant here at the Charette House who is an expert, unqualified, in Andrew Jackson. And she's here now, and she's going to be watching your every word. There she is. You can see her in the background. There she is. And John, what would you like to start with tonight? What song would you like to start with?
Well, of course, I'm going to start with the celebration of the Battle of New Orleans by Johnny Horton.
All right.
Fired our guns. Fired our guns and the British kept it running, and the runners and the many as it runs a while ago. And fired our guns and the British kept it running down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. The Battle of New Orleans. And never forget who won that. Andrew Jackson. Where's our Andrew Jackson expert?
There she is, right here.
Come on right up here. I want to ask you a question about the old general.
Right here, right here. Go ahead, Martina, right here.
Sorry.
Sit right here.
Okay.
And it's Martina.
Here you go.
Oops. All right, there we go.
Martina, Andrew Jackson has been a prominent figure in the paintings that hang on the wall behind President Trump. At the beginning of his term, we thought that Trump was going to come back and break up the trusts and the banks and everything, and to get us off of the the Rothschild system, just like Andrew Jackson
Yeah, that would have been nice.
did. But, it didn't happen. But let's remind people who Andrew Jackson really was and what there is to gain from studying Andrew Jackson.
The funny thing is, I didn't like him originally. I was just like everybody else, thinking, oh, he's a terrible person. He's a horrible, monster. We shouldn't, we should all hate him. And then it's funny because it was kind of purely by accident. I actually started reading a little bit about him, and I'm trying to think. I don't remember exactly what it was, whether it was a book or just a piece of information I stumbled across, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I got a little bit more into it and started reading more about him. I was like, oh, I really didn't know that. And then ultimately, I just kept reading and reading, and I have so many books on him now, and it's just like I realize nobody knows anything about who this guy is, and they hate a guy they don't even know. And this man had led such an extraordinary life from the moment of his birth, which just was fraught with hardships. I mean, on the day he was born, it was just all. His dad died 2 weeks before he was born, just trying to get his family set up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, his mom. He had two brothers at the time. Older brothers at the time was. His 4-year-old brother Hugh and his 2-year-old brother Robert, and his mom was pregnant with him, so they actually hauled his dad up to this church area because they were in the Waxhaw region, which was a region in South and North Carolina, and there's been a lot of debate about whether he was truly a South Carolinian, because his mom was actually on the trip to bury his dad. And I mean, even that was merciless because they lost his dad's body halfway, and they had to go back and find it. And this was in March, where it's all snowy and cold. So his pregnant mom has to go find her dead husband with these two baby boys, saying, "Where's Daddy?" And they find him just washed up on the edge of a creek. So they buried him, and then shortly after, as they're going back down, she goes into labor and it gives birth to Andrew Jackson. So it's from day one, his life was an insane course of events, and and that's just the beginning. And what he went through, he's the only president that was ever a POW, and he was a POW at the age of 13 in a British camp that he was thrown into. They weren't treating the prisoners well. They were feeding them, I think, bad water and maggoty bread and meat. And
shouldn't have done that to Andy Jackson.
Oh, he never forgot that. He made sure they did not get away with what they did to him. I could go. It's
Well, now that you're on that subject, and I'll just horn in here. This is the slapping incident, or the the British officer asked him to shine the shoes. Why don't you tell that story? And
Yeah, so he was 13 at the time. His older brother Hugh was dead at this point. He had died at the Battle of Stono Ferry from heat exhaustion. So what had happened was Jackson and his remaining brother Robert they were too young to actually fight, so they were couriers. But they were still in the thick of the battle, trying to get messages and inform, of situations and hold horses and, things like that, where it's they couldn't actually fight, but they were still in the thick of the danger. He actually witnessed the Beaufort Massacre, which some people might know, Bloody Band Tarleton. He was responsible for that, so he was in the thick of that. He actually saw that happened and saw the aftermath of it. But so the incident, what happened is he met up with his brother Robert, they were running from the British, and they had to go tell their aunt that their aunt's son, Thomas, their cousin Thomas, had been captured by the British. So they went to her house, and of course they're starving, so they're getting, so she's feeding them as well. And in the middle of that, the British come in. They basically capture all of them. They search the house because they're searching for their uncle, who's in charge of a lot. He has connections, so they're trying to find him. They just go around the whole house and they just destroy the house. They rip up even the baby clothes in this house. And the officer, which ironically, the leading officer, Major Coffin, I believe was his name, tells Andrew Jackson to shine his boots. And Jackson said, "Sir, I am a prisoner of war and I demand to be treated as such." And you got to remember that Jackson was an Ulster Scots descent. His parents he was the only president to have an entirely immigrated family. So his parents were completely Ulster Scots. And to the British, that's like one of the lowest things you can be, especially at that time. So to have this little American Ulster Scots boy tell him no, it was just an insult beyond compare. So he raised his sword and he was going to kill him. He was intending to kill him, and he brought the sword down. And the only reason Jackson survived was he raised his left hand up to block the sword, and the sword cut him to the bone on his hand and his head and left him with a scar on both that he never forgot for the rest of his life. And so the officer turned to his brother and said, "Okay, well, you clean my boots." Of course, his brother said no, so that he cut him on the head, and then basically threatened Andrew Jackson, "Okay, you're going to lead me to your uncle's house, or else I'm going to kill you and your brother." So Jackson is like, okay, so he takes the lead in front of these officers. He's not given any treatment for his head wound. His head wound is left gaping open. And he leads them to his uncle's house, but he purposely takes the long way so that his uncle can see them coming, and his uncle is able to make a getaway. But of course, the officer realizes that he's been had by this boy, so instead of releasing him, he just takes him and he throws him into basically a war camp prison with the British, where they contract smallpox, and Jackson's brother died shortly after that, and his mom died shortly after that. So he was left he was left without a family after the Revolutionary War, and a deep hatred of the British.
Wow, what a story!
Wow.
Well, thank you for right now. We'll have you come back. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Martina, and that was excellent.
That's the last time I asked that question. Can you tell us a little bit? No?
No, I think that was fabulous.
That was great.
It gives people a reminder of the true American image of a person who comes up from from poverty,
Yeah.
and hardships, and the types of people who build. If they survive, they've got really strong character. Now we may question his decisions about things. I can't put myself in his place. That was a long time ago, and people had completely different ideas and really limited understanding of the big world compared to what we know it today. So I don't judge, but I neither do I approve of many of his unfortunate decisions.
Yeah. Well, John, what's next after that?
Well, I was thinking about the soldiers, the common person, and the most the fiddle tune that I play, and think about just your average person that's in the Continental Army or in the War of 1812, generally just people that had been farmers or mechanics that really didn't have any military training until suddenly they're thrust into war. And, when they got hurt, it was bad. And that's when, as you know, the medications start coming in. And while it's a blessing to the soldiers, it's also a curse because of the addiction problem. So, oh, yeah, I'll turn that. I got it, George. Thank you, buddy. All right. Oh, no, there you go.
That's what I get for helping.
Yeah, well, it's all the intention that counts, George.
All right.
So, Soldier's Joy.
Well, I feel like a good shot of opium for my flesh wound after that. I feel good about that.
I am my mama's darling boy. I am my mama's darling boy. I am my mama's darling boy, and I'll play a little tune called Soldier's Joy.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara, for the dancing stylings back there.
Oh, do we have some dancing?
Oh, yeah. She was doing the stomp. Yeah.
How to do a solo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
It's hard to keep her feet from moving.
come on, Dave. Get up there.
Come on, Dave.
And of course, everyone remembers the iconic scene where the gentleman goes up to Vivian Leigh after the Virginia Reel and he says, "Your jewelry for the Confederacy, ma'am."
Yeah.
So how do you do it? You're in front of all your peers and you have to give the jewelry for the Confederacy. Yeah.
I wouldn't give it.
No. It's going to go to some banker's vault. Yeah.
All right, what else y'all want to hear? Anything?
Well, John,
No more?
I have speaking of Gone with the Wind, they came from Ireland, and it would be nice if you could draw a route or two back to your home country, your county Cork, correct?
Clare.
Clare.
County
I'm
Clare.
sorry. Not far from Cork, right?
Yeah.
And do you have anything from the County Clare tonight?
County Clare, yeah. We have a few tunes from Clare.
I know there's a couple of rivers up there that you might want to talk about.
Well, let me see what we can do here.
There's a few bays too, I think.
You know what that we have here? We have a actual boron player, which is the Irish drum.
Oh,
Yeah, did you
would
know
be
that?
great.
Carol plays.
Carol would be awesome to add to this
Carol,
collection
would
here.
you come up here and join us up here? We'll have a little Irish music.
Hey, thank you, John. Real treat to play.
Boron, is
yeah.
it like B-O-R-O-N?
B-O-D-H-R-U-N.
B-O-D-H-U.
R-U-N.
R-U-N.
That's my best guess.
Okay.
Well, let's try a little Irish jig here. How about the lark in the morning?
Okay.
Very nice.
All right, Carol. Oh, Carol, I didn't get you on camera there. Geez, I'm sorry, everybody. We should have had Carol on the camera. Well, stick around. Let's play another one.
Okay, let's.
All right.
Well, John, that was excellent. Now, what part of Ireland did that song originate from?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's one of the more common jigs in the whole country of Ireland. It's called the, what was it called?
I don't know, John.
Oh, yeah. The Lark in the Morning.
The Lark in the Morning, okay.
The Lark in the Morning. Yeah.
Well, there's, I know there's a bay in Donegal. Is it Donegal Bay?
You talking about Galway Bay?
Galway Bay, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're trying to get me to sing, aren't you?
No. Well, yeah, why not? If you can slow it down, I'll try to stay with you.
Let me see. If you ever go across the seas to Ireland, then maybe at the closing of your day, you will sit and watch the sun rise over Claddagh, or watch the moon go down on Galway Bay, just to hear again the ripple of the trout stream, the women in the meadows making hay, and hear again the barefoot gossans playing, and once again to listen to them play. Or the breezes blowing o'er the fields to Ireland. I'm sorry, I can't remember that one. If I had the guitar, I could play
Yeah,
it.
I know.
but,
The guitar is your crutch.
Anyway, but the strangers came and tried to teach us their ways,
Yes.
and scorned us just for being what we are. but they might as well go chasing after moonbeams or light a penny candle from a star. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, and somehow I'm sure there's going to be, I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea.
Here, here. Very nice, very nice.
Well, George, I'll try anything for you, brother.
Well, I think that reminds everybody that we're going to be doing a worldwide tour of this group, starting in here and then going from here to somewhere else. But that's not planned yet because we have to deal with this election and this stuff.
Who dances the hornpipe? Anybody? Tara, I bet you dance the hornpipe.
I don't know an official hornpipe, but if it moves me like a hornpipe, I'll.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Very nice, very nice.
Carol, that was fabulous. I had no idea we had such talented boron player right among us.
Yeah.
All week I could have been playing music with you. Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Well, John, I just wanted to let you know that we received from Andra a very nice super chat of $10. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andra.
From all the people contributing to the chat here all around the world. And I don't, our world tour may have been delayed a little bit because we want to meet everyone who is, follows John's channel in time. But right now we've got, pressing activities here. But we do appreciate all over the world, I think mostly the English-speaking countries, super chatting you from everywhere.
We got some euros and all kinds of great
Costa Rica.
I mean, we had like 3,000 somethings from Costa Rica the other day.
Colognes, and then we got a lot of yuan. You received a lot of yuan. So
I did, yeah. It was like 5 or 6 figures of zeros there. It was really wow.
So anyway, we wanted to say thank you very much because all this is volunteer, all of this is self-financed, and everyone here is giving their time and effort for free. So, John, what's next for you?
Well, I thought I heard a request for Yankee Doodle back there.
Oh, Yankee Doodle, I know that one.
Let's see now. Yeah, let's play Yankee Doodle.
Let's make this go viral.
nice, very nice. Well, I definitely won't ask Martina about Washington because, you know, she knew so much about Jackson. So, John, you are quite the historian. For those who are new to the channel, I think people don't realize what, outside of being a Georgetown lawyer and top litigator, you are also quite the historian, not just for now in our times, the 1960s, but all the way through now, but also going back all the way to Washington and the whole Minutemen through the whole series, right?
Well, George, as far as being a historian is concerned, I had a couple of history courses in college. I was, you know, fortunate enough to get some history courses, but I don't have any particular degrees in history, but I had a most wonderful experience at the Fredericksburg battlefield over there in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is, you know, not far from here, about an hour away. I had picked up the book called The Battle of Fredericksburg by Frank O'Reilly, and he was the one of the chief Park Service rangers there, and of course those guys are the historians, right?
Yeah.
And I read his book, and then I went over to talk to him one day, and what I really wanted to know was why did all those regiments keep charging up against the stone wall? Because if people know that the story there's a stone wall that all the Confederates were behind, and all they had to do was just keep shooting, and they couldn't. The Yankees kept running up the hill trying to attack the stone wall, but it was fruitless. And I was a particular student of the Irish Brigade at the time, so I wanted to know, you know, why did Maher, you know, why didn't he just say heck with this? We're not going up that hill, you know. Mm-hmm. But they did, and why did these guys do it? Because they were ordered to, because they were patriotic, because they knew it was their duty. But why did the officers send them up there? I couldn't understand it. He said, well, think of it this way. If you didn't keep sending Yankees up the hill, you would have had Confederates coming down the hill, mm-hmm. and rush, and that would have pushed the Yankees into the river and divided their forces and defeated them. So it was absolutely necessary that Burnside, because he got himself into that jam, he had to keep sending his regiments up the hill, even though that, you know, the casualties were absolutely horrendous. And that was the only way the Yankees survived that day. Mm-hmm. So that's that sacrifice, you know. You do what you have to do, even though you know you're going to die.
And we're graced by a lot of Civil War battlefields here in Maryland and Virginia. And we go to all these places. And it's nice to see Addie Ads, who is a budding journalist and historian, go to a lot of these places now and learning a lot about this stuff, the younger generation learning about a lot of this stuff from people such as yourself.
Well, what I wanted to say was, to wrap that story up, was that I asked him to sign my book, mm-hmm. and he signed it to John O'Loughlin, a fellow historian.
Oh.
And I said, why? You know, he said, well, you're a historian. And I understand that, because anybody that really wants to understand our history is a historian, and you learn it and you pass it on. And so it's not anything that you have to have a degree to do. And that's what I think what I wanted to just share with you is that, you know, you're a historian, Carol's a historian, we're all historians, and you can be you can be an expert in a little bit of history, or you can try to take a whole sweep of history in, kind of the way I do, which is, you know, an impossible task, but, you know, we try.
So start with Macduff and work your way to either side of 1962 is my recommendation. So what do you have for us next, John?
Well, let's think now. I know at some point tonight I want to play a Shokin Farewell for you and for those of us that remember your association of that song with Jenny Moore.
Yeah.
And maybe make that the last song for tonight.
Yeah, we can do that. But can I ask you, just because we're on the Irish theme?
Yeah.
I know you can do "Oh Danny Boy." It would be a fun one, I think. Because,
You want me to do Danny Boy?
Oh well, I think it's a fun one, and there's some other ones before Ashkin Farewell, but yeah, maybe, yeah.
Sure, George.
Okay.
I can't say no to George. Huh?
All right. Well, you got such a large online audience here. They want to hear. Yeah.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come he back when summer's in the meadow, or when the evening's hushed and white as snow. 'Tis I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And if ye come and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me. And I shall hear, though soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be. If you will bend and tell me that you love me, then I will sleep in peace until you come to me.
Very nice, John. Thank you.
There you are.
Well,
Oh, Danny boy.
I think two of the things that I think
That's another war song too, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think these songs evoke different images and people for different listeners. But I certainly think of Macduff when I hear that song, and I think of him being in the wrong place and him needing to go to Arlington. And now it's renewed all over again because this Ashley Babbitt that ends up dying. Where she's shot in the hallway there by Nancy Pelosi's office. We have a lot of heroes. There was, I just want to say, we had 1 million people peacefully come to Washington to try to change things, and we had 50 operatives. Who knows what they were doing? But I just want to send a message, and this message to everyone, which is, it was 1 million peaceful people. And 50, who knows who paid them. But the American people need to know that. And thank you for singing that beautiful song, because I think the parents of Ashley Babbitt tonight might want to know that their daughter did not die in vain.
Well, let's play another fiddle tune.
Let's do that.
Texas Quick Step's the name of this one.
Uh-oh. I think Taro is going to be dancing. How about that?
All right, Carol,
How
thanks so
about
much.
Carol? How about Carol on that accompaniment? Good. That's great. Wow, you worked hard on that. That was a lot of drumming, man.
All right.
All right, you ready to do Ashkin?
Yeah, I think we'll do Ashok and farewell, and then we'll say good evening to everyone, and hope you have the rest of your Saturday is enjoyable. And I've certainly had an enjoyable time. And you know, Carol and I, we we're both out of practice. I mean, let's be honest. But you sound terrific, and I really appreciate your joining me tonight.
Yeah, well.
Let's have another round of applause for Carol. All right. Thank you.
Well, John, we had a comment in the chat that said this is what entertainment was like before television, and I think
Exactly.
I think it was better, way better.
Well, everybody would, all of y'all would have it. Have a cello. We'd have, 2 guitars and a mandolin and 3 more fiddles.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Are you going to play the penny whistle before you play Ashkin?
Well, okay.
Yeah, I think you should do that. One penny whistle song. Come on. Can you play a Patriots tune? I know you can. Any Patriots tune.
A Patriots tune.
A Patriots tune.
Let's see here. How about, this is an old marching tune from the Revolutionary War era.
Okay. Very nice,
There
John.
you go.
Very nice. Okay, I need to take a deep breath before you play this. Go ahead. But I just want to say, for those who don't know Jenny Moore, a person I called Task Force John, knew her well. I knew her well. She worked with us for about 1.5 years before her untimely death. And so John has always been just tremendously helpful and respectful in remembering her. And this is sometimes, in this business of citizen journalism, you don't make it. And but certainly her contributions will live on forever.
Absolutely. And, every time I think of her, I think of the Bob Marley lyric about good friends we've had, good friends we've lost along the way. Mm-hmm. In this bright future, we must not forget the past. So dry your tears, I say.
Yeah, that's nice.
Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
So here you are, George, for you and for everyone else.
nice, John. Thank you. Very nice.
A choking farewell, and thanks a lot for being with us tonight, and hope you enjoyed the evening here at the Charette House with George Webb.
And I want everybody to say thank you to John, and please subscribe to his Patreon. You wouldn't believe how much he does behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, I'm looking at all the Rodecaster here and all the microphones and setup and rigging and all the contribution he makes day in, day out. And you only see a slice of it. You only see one slice of the loaf of bread. So please subscribe to John and also support him on Patreon.
All right, that's very kind of you, George. Thanks very much. Good night, everyone.